All right, it's me, Dorky, teaming up on the test server now. Before we get into this is test server footage. Like it's beta. Like if you see something that doesn't make sense or stuff doesn't work, I mean, it's not 100%. It's not live. It's not a live build, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and so Dorky has a reasonable account. Like yours have like normal stars. Like what kind of star levels do you have on your account?
On the infestation team, I left big time at 5 red,
Oh,
5
you're
yellow.
nowhere.
Oh, yeah,
What is your nowhere team, right?
I left my nowhere pretty small actually, so we could really limit test them. So they're all 5 yellow, 5 red, except Cosmo, who accidentally put an extra star on, and they're all gear tier 15 with the appropriate T4s, not excessive T4s.
Okay. And so my team is maxed out. So like you're gonna attack into my team, which is gear tier 18, which nobody's gonna do. 7-7, all the T4s, minimum blue ISO 4. Some of them are blue ISO 5. So and we did mine set up skirmisher on Black Widow and skirmisher on Ant-Man. Let's go. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes because I know that the kit kind of, oh my god, it's so big.
I know, right?
I'm pretty sure nowhere is going to punch up big. I don't know if they're going to punch up this big. What is this? Is an 860,000 punch up? Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think any team's gonna be able to touch this other than nowhere, right?
Yeah, there's no way. Like I have a hybrid team that can do a punch across into infestation. This would still be a 400k punch up to my little hybrid team. So let's just go. we have another team on the playtest server that we can go try at a reasonable power level too, though.
Anyway. Just to see how annoying this is, right?
Yeah. So this is why it counters it, right? Because Nova gets to immediately stop big time from doing his ultimate, which just stops everything.
Now, do you have the awakened abilities on your Nova?
No, I don't. But I think the awakened abilities is just like a bunch of anti-barrier and stuff like that, right? I think it's just the mirror matchup.
Okay.
Oh my god, look at that damage though.
Yeah, they're doing the ultimates and the specials simultaneously, which is also really tricky on pretty much all the reworked characters, except for one of them is not, but three of them are basically doing ultimates and special simultaneously every turn.
Yeah, I found in this matchup the yellow jacket is particularly nasty with that percentile damage he does from his special 30%. Pretty crazy. Oh my god, Cosmo's gonna go.
Ooh, Cosmo is kind of the main part of the team too, as far as like heals and stuff.
He's definitely not unimportant, so this it might be just too big. We'll see how this goes. This is tough because I don't know who to go for with all the disrupts that the team puts out and everything too. It's kind of crazy. But I think at the end of the day, if you kill Spider-Man big time, you'll still win this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the way this team is set up is like it's set up to be a much easier on a 2 and a 3 tap, right? Like it's just like if you want to win a war, you want to 1 tap it, right?
Yeah. Something interesting we just saw. So unlike Emma or Doc Ock, when the big time dies, it seems like they're no longer getting that bonus to their abilities. So like Yellow Jacket just attempted to do his special, but didn't follow up with the ultimate. So I guess when
so the passive disappears when big time's wow, that makes the match a million times easier, right?
yeah, and you know what? I think we spoke too soon. I think Nowhere does beat it at this crazy of a punch up.
Wow.
Uh,
So what this means is that going crazy on this team is not a thing then, right?
yeah, I don't think it is a thing, and we like for a lot of people, big time shards are going to be coming in like in a trickle effect, right, with the raid season.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like 2 weeks from now, the first big time should be hitting on the larger alliances, right? And you know
Yeah.
it'll be just an unlock at that point. Holy moly! So, yeah. I mean, this is like, I mean, if you just punched up that big, what does that mean? Like, why would a Mega Kraken want to go heavily invested on this team if that's how it's like, you know, if there's going to be minimal investment is going to be able to one tap it? What's the point?
Yeah, that's a great question. And then you also got to remember, like, nowhere is going to be needed for a legendary unlock, so people are going to be building them high anyway. And they're giving us a lot of nowhere shards, and with Beta Ray Bill's celebration reward, we're going to be getting a lot there too.
Well, and I kind of said this sarcastically on stream, and I don't know if you agree with me, but like what's the percent chance that infestation would be used for a scourge team?
I don't think zero. I think it is actually
Yeah,
possible.
I don't think it's zero either. Like it's they tend to like if people choose to ignore the team, they tend to like force it on us, right? Like I don't know if that's intentional, but it feels that way, right?
Yeah, no, I think they'll make us pay, but I think there's also like a pattern they're going with the scourges. And let me know what you think about this. So the last trial, I guess the trial scourge, whatever you want to call it. The last one was a Crucible team, Masters of Evil. And then there was a section that heavily favored another Crucible team, the New Warriors, who were released like beside each other, right? And that's kind of like nowhere in Infestation. So is there a world where Infestation is going to be, there's going to be a tag, like a city tech tag, or I don't know, maybe just a tech tag in total, where we're going to want to use this Infestation team in the next trial, the one that is supposed to be heavily for the Nowhere team.
Man, there you go, right?
This is even easier this time. I guess Nova got pushed further this time, so we ended up getting speed bar and using his ultimate faster. So Cosmo lived and just walked over it even easier. I don't. Yeah, I like Cosmo. I don't think there's a kill target that makes this matchup not work.
Okay, so all this is really going to do is pull nowhere onto this team, right? And then the APOC Gamma will still exist, right? And then you'll have to two tap that without using nowhere.
Yeah, so I think at the highest level, what this will do, let's see if we got someone else who has it all on defense, is it'll shift a lot of priorities. So nowhere can definitely beat Gamma. I find it a little sketchy from time to time, but it could definitely beat Gamma. It kind of struggles against Apocalypse Gamma. Nowhere shuts down Apocalypse Darkhold. Uh, there's
Yes.
there's the other team, the Kang Undying team, which is not a guaranteed win by any stretch of the imagination. So I guess with the introduction of the Infestation team, it's just going to change around the priorities that of the counters, and it's going to basically make it back to what the war meta was like. Oh, I shouldn't have used the ultimate there. That was a misplay. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Heroes for Hire 2.0 is what I'm getting at from at least from this right here, right?
oh, yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. Um, it kind of feels like it's just a zero sum game now. So like we have this new Apex War team, but they're getting immediately allocated to this other team. It just kind of feels like a zero sum game, which is awkward. But I guess what they want. Oof.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess what do we expect? It's 4 reworks and essentially a free character, and then they still haven't announced where the red stars are going to come in. And I was on Reddit yesterday, and the speculation on Reddit is that big time Spider-Man is going to be dark promotion credits. From what I've seen there, it's like how much do you really want to put into this team if its whole purpose is just to force your opponent to use nowhere? And because I think the team is I think it's going to be a tricky team for non-nowhere, right?
Yeah, I think so too, and I don't disagree with that thought because when we think about like the last character that was released unconventionally, it was Quicksilver, right? He's released for through Crucible, and he was Dark Promotion credits. So now we have Big Time being released through Raid Rewards. It kind of makes sense that he would be Dark Promotion credits. Which, if that's true, then I see no value in this team for a lot of people. I mean, well, there's another way to think about this too, which is that Big Time's main thing is to survive. As long as he's on the field, he's going to be pulling the nowhere team because no other team can really go before him except for this little wonky hybrid I made up. So if your other 4 characters are big, you might still be pulling the nowhere team.
Do you have Gamma on offense where you could just run in against my team on Gamma? I want to kind of see a team get exploded.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just want to throw a big Gamma or a big or maybe like a Spider Weaver, Tangled, Dormammu, that's a pretty big team, right? Too. Like that's yeah, or it should just get wrecked, right? That's kind of what I want to show is that the team it crumbles to nowhere, but not to other teams, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's definitely not going to lose here. Well, there is one kind of condition where Gamma does get a good advantage. So Abomination goes before Big Time. And see what just happened is Abomination's passive takes off one buff. If Abomination stripped the immunity and I was able to stun,
you could stun right here, yeah.
then we'd be good. But that did not
What do
happen.
you? So what do you do? Just a basic here? What do you do?
Yeah, I guess so. And nothing else would have landed because they had immunity across the board. But I think with that, you just lose.
So, but what's that? What's a 1 in 3 chance it strips the immunity?
Yeah.
And that's not a good ratio, right? Like to go into an attack and just pray that you get, the immunity stripped.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be relying on that. And the thing about this matchup too is that Red Hulk is always going to get a blind because he's the fastest character, and part of Big Time's kit in his ultimate is it automatically applies blind, I think, to the 2 fastest enemies. So Red Hulk will always get blind. So this ultimate that I'm about to throw will always, never mind, he's dead. So I guess that's a null point when you're doing this big a punch at. It's just absolutely kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's just gonna be you have to have nowhere, you have to use nowhere, and that's that. And then being able to stun Big Time right out of the gate. Try a tangle, yeah, or try that, yeah, or a tangled Undying team maybe, or yeah, that's a good team. Yeah, just try anything, right?
Yeah, this is a little hybrid I came up with that beats it on a punch across. We got a lot of speed things here, and we're able to kill the Yellow Jacket. At Gear 18, I don't think you're killing this Yellow Jacket in time. And I think because you don't kill the Yellow Jacket, you just die. Find out. He's taking no damage from the Noir.
Wow.
We want to make sure we don't hit Big Time here. Yeah, so you Yellow Jacket survive. I mean, he's about to explode people, and then this fight's over.
Well, maybe you can get there. Maybe it'll chain right.
Yeah, we can't ult because we're blinded, but this is unavoidable at least. I didn't chain the right way.
I didn't chain right way.
And Kestrel Ping didn't quite get it done. And because we use the special, not the ultimate, he is going to be able to hit us. He's about to clear the board, Yellow Jacket is. Here it comes. Yep. There might have been a misplay there, but just looking at the life pool on the characters, I'm not sure that anything besides Nowhere is going to beat it when it scales up that high. Like, this is a crazy high team. Now, I guess the question is, what breakpoint for a regular person's team brings them to this level where it's always Nowhere? You think Gear Tier 17 on the entire team makes it so that it's Nowhere or bust?
I mean, are you just taking? I mean, I think it's going to come down to like if the captains and your alliance are going to say, "Hey, you have to use Nowhere on this team or not," and what kind of risk is there if you save Nowhere for something else? I mean, I think it's just that simple. I don't think it's more complicated than that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Oh, we got the same situation here again.
Let's see if it chains right.
Oh, there, it's done this time.
Okay. So there you go, right?
But again, you could also just 2-tap this, right? If you wanted to use your Nowhere elsewhere. You go in, pull the cooldowns, and Big Time only gets charged once per war.
Right. I mean, it feels like it's a 2-tap team, but like a war. If you're in a competitive war situation, maybe on full clears. If you're playing full clear wars, not everybody plays full clear wars, by the way. But full clear wars, it's going to be who 1-taps and who 2-taps. Something like this, right?
Yeah, true. In an event like the one we currently have, the Galactic War one or whatever it's called, like it basically, you're not even going to clear the milestones, but it's heavily reliant on people getting full clears. So does a team like this then kind of negatively affect some smaller alliances that aren't used to full clearing anyway? Is the team that innately good, I guess would be the question, or because Nowhere beats it, is it just a bust?
Yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do more testing on a weak infestation team against larger non nowhere teams to see if there's something that could do, like the hybrid team that you've got right there with Tangled and Kang seems pretty good. But those pretty important characters, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, like that's pulling from a lot of sources, but I guess if that frees your nowhere up, then you can continue to one shot Gamma or continue to one shot Apocalypse Darkhold or straight Darkhold. I guess it would be trade offs at that point, right?
Yeah, and just to wrap up this video, I feel like Alliance War is not important to a large percentage of the community, and putting a lot of resources into this team, whatever, for me, I just want to put as little into it as possible so that it does draw nowhere. That's about it, right?
Yeah, I think so. And when you think about like, I don't mind building up my nowhere higher because first it's an offensive team, so that's what actually helps me get resources and gets me to
Well,
clear
and
rooms.
nowhere, and Nova is amazing, right? Nova,
In Crucible.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Nova is useful. I mean, Nova is a great character, top 10 character, I would say. So, like, there's no risk in putting resources into Nova from my point of view.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. So yeah, I think for the vast majority, this team might be a bust, and then for the super hardcore war people, it'll be a must. Bust to must. There you go. Video title done.
There you go. All right, head over to Dorky's channel. We're gonna do more testing over there.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
for now.